present this. Today, I was going to discuss about the research process, and upgrading the research. My title based on the system of the institute that we are doing our higher degree, such MPhil and PhD. Maybe such a system will be different from other university. But there are two systems in our institute, but in other universities also they have two different systems for higher degree. Not only this, for example, they also have their MPhil program, MPhil, and also PhD. Here also has the MPhil and PhD. In other university, usually if you are, for example, if you are going to do your MPhil degree at the time, first you have to register and then you can apply. Then you have to take the course. For example, for 1 year, and then for 1 more year, you have to write for your dissertation or your thesis for MPhil. Then after 2 years, maybe 3 years, you could complete it, your MPhil, then you will finish your MPhil. But here, their university for PhD program, you could not join or you could not switch from your MPhil degree to PhD degree directly. They don't have such system. Such system, so far as far as I know, only here only here in some institute. For example, in India and in Thailand, if you are going to do your PhD, you have to apply directly to PhD program, not MPhil program. If you want to do your MPhil, you have to apply for MPhil. If you want to do PhD, you have to apply for PhD. First, you must have their requirements. You have to fulfill their requirement. Here also, we have to fulfill our requirement. But if we just finish MA program for 1 year, for example, we want to do MPhil here, so we can apply. Not only that, for example, we want to do PhD. So first we can register, we can start from MPhil. Then within 1.5 years or within 18 months, according to their rules, we can switch or we can upgrade our MPhil level research to PhD level research. But to do that, you must have your reason. This is the system here. Why I'm choosing this title, why I'm choosing this title, and why I'm choosing to discuss about the research process is, when I was about to register, when I was about to apply for MPhil or PhD at the time, I didn't know the process. I didn't know, even though I took the research methodology in my MA study as a one subject, but I didn't know very well, even though I wrote an essay. Here we call it an essay for MA. Even though I wrote an essay for MA based on our methodology, but if I didn't understand, I didn't know the research process here. Not only that, another thing is I didn't get the student manual. Even though every student got that manual when they are registered. For example, when MA or MA or diploma or any degree, when they register at the time, they usually got the student manual every year. Every year, the institute issued a student manual. So we can learn, we can read about the process in a student manual, in fact. But I didn't get it. When I registered for MA, I didn't get the student manual. Not only this at the time, in my society, and there was no one who registered for MA or who registered for MPhil or PhD before me. So there is no one to ask about the process for me. Therefore, in my turn, I choose to discuss about the research process. In fact, this process is very obvious to many students, because for many students, this research process you can learn and you can study through the student manual. that you are issued from the institute, usually from institute. Not only that, in every university, almost every university, they have their website. And in their website, they mention about the process, how you could apply, what are the requirements for any degree. They already mentioned. So you could read when you are about to apply for any degree in any university. Therefore, this process is very obvious to many students. But for me, at the time, I didn't know it. Therefore, in my turn, I choose this browser, this title to discuss a research program. Not only that, in fact, the many research methodology, for example, like research, how to say, how to prepare, how to do the, how to prepare your research using the Microsoft, like that. Many articles, many titles already discussed by many, how to say, the many PhD holder and many researchers before me. And my turn, I'm the last one, therefore I choose this title. Okay, so let us start our discussion. I always use the word discuss, not a lecture, because I'm just discussing to you. I know I'm afraid to use the word lecture, because I'm not lecturing you, I'm discussing to you, because I haven't completed yet in my research. Okay, first, as a research project, before you apply, first you have to think about it. Think. First, you have to think about what you want to do, in which area you want to do, what are you interested, what are interesting area to you. First, you have to think about it. Not only that, then you have to think about the department also. Which department and which institute you are going to apply, you are going to do for your research. Because, for example, many times I have heard, not only heard, I have a president. When in a student, for example, the medical doctor, they are trying to do their research to the institute. That is Buddhist study institute, basically, mostly focus on Buddhist study. They want to do their research here. But even though they want to do the research, but their research title is not relevant to Buddhist study. Their title are mostly relevant to this scientific, medical level, medical area, medical field, not a religious study, not a Buddhist study. When you are going to do your research to the university or an institute, which is the focus on any area at the time, your research title should be relevant to their focus area. There should be at least the connection, one connection, at least connection. There should be at least connection. Otherwise, they won't accept it. Even though they accept your application, even though they allow to do their research, but you will face the questions. You will face the question by the scholar who already completed their research, by the lecturer. Because I have experienced in some student, for example, the medical doctor, she's the medical doctor, I think. She's doing, I think I don't know, she has completed or not, but when I see at the time, she is doing her presentation for her research. But after her presentation, her title is mostly relevant to the medical field. But there's no any connections to the Buddhist study, according to the lecturer and scholar. So they ask the question, why you are doing? You are research here in our institute. There's no any connections to Buddhist study. According to your research title, there is no any connection. Therefore, we cannot accept. We can accept your research to that level. But they should tell her, they should reject when she tried to apply her research title. But at the time, they accept it. When she do her presentation, when she does her presentation, at the time, they reject it. They question, and then they reject. Therefore, think about it. What are you going to do? In which area you are going to do your research? And then not only did the department, also you have to think about it, department or institute or university. You have to think about them too. Otherwise, you will face such question. Then maybe your research will be denied. Find this scholar and lecturer. Okay. Then after you think it, and then you got the idea, area. Then you have to read it, some books, a magazine, and then find it, and then find the title. What happened? The first slide. Only first slide.
Yeah, first slide.
Yeah, only this slide.
Okay.
And then find it the area, and then find it the title. Then plan in which area you want to do the research. Then read the books, not only the books, magazine, article, journal, etc. Many things. You will get the idea. You will get the idea about your research. Concerning with your ideas of research area. And then select research title relating to the field of Pali and Buddhist study. Why I choose this one is because we are the student or researcher in that area. Therefore, I put. In fact, if you are a medical student, for example, if you are a student of any other area, then you have to think about it. You have to select it, the research title. I've already discussed it. A research concept, apply with a research topic. Because introduction less than 200 words. My discussion is based on the student manual that issued our institute. Therefore, there will be a little bit different from other university about this requirement. Before that, sometimes they accept it only with the research title. Sometimes they ask the student to write introduction about 200 words about research. What are you going to do? What you want to do? About the research you are going to do. They ask to write down about 200 words. Then you can apply it. Then after you got the approved by the writer, by the board, then you can start your proposal. You must, according to our institute requirement, within 6 months from the date of registration, mark it. Because when I applied, after I applied, then I went back to Myanmar. I didn't know at the time. I thought only when I applied, I submit, I paid my tuition fee. At the time, my student life would start, my research student would start. I thought, in fact, not like this. In fact, when you applied, at the time you are student, your research start. Your research life starting that point, that date. After I got how to say the acceptance. After 2 months, I knew it. Oh, I already started as a research student. After 2 months, I knew it. Before that, I didn't know. So, therefore, you are within 6 months from the date of registration, you are research student will start. Your research life starting. Then presentation, research and writing. First, proposal presentation. We call here proposal presentation. After 6 months, with approval of your supervisor, with the approval of the writer and the academic board, you can do your presentation. It is called first presentation or proposal presentation. Then, after your presentation, you can start again, research and write it again. After this, for MPhil student, you can, within 18 months, within 1.5 years, you can upgrade it. Argument or enough reasons. For example, only one reason will be enough, but sometimes 2-3 reasons they will ask. Even if you have only one reason, that's a solid, that's a strong, they will accept it, your reason. But there are other requirements. About this, I will discuss this. Okay, then after upgrading, you have to research it again, and you have to write to complete your research title as a PhD. Upgrading me from MPhil to PhD. You can upgrade it, but you must give enough reason, strong enough reason. And also, not only that, there are some other requirements about then. I will discuss in next slide. Okay, please, next slide. Here, office process, about office process, because sometimes some students, even though they are just focusing, they are doing their research, they are just focusing on research, they are just writing. They don't give any attention about office process. Office process, sometimes in what I say, bound. So your research must be according to their rules. It's me, your research must be office process. It's me, first application. Any time of the year, it is according to our institute. But in some university, they don't accept all the time, the whole year. They don't accept it. They are only sometimes, some university, they accept 2 times. They call their research student for 2 times a year. After 6 months, usually they call it. But some university, they call once a year. Only that time you can apply for your research for a PhD. But here, mostly here in Sri Lanka, the institute, you can apply anytime for MPhil or PhD here. Okay, to apply first, as you know, according to the office process, you fill the application. Take the approved and submit it. Take the approved me according to the rule of the institute, postgraduate institute of Bali Buddhist University, PGM BBS. According to the rule of the institute, you must take the approved. It means you must take the sign of any lecturer. Any lecturer. At the time you can choose it, you are supervisor, who you want to take it. Then first you can discuss with them before you are failing. Before you are taking your research title, at the time you can discuss with them. Because mostly they are welcome to discuss it. For research students, they are all the time they are welcoming. So you can go and you can take appointment. You can make appointment that you go and discuss with them about the area that you are interested in. Then you can fill the application form. Then you can take the approval. And then not only that, in the application form, there is the one chapter, like for example, one session, which one you would like to accept, you would like to sue as your supervisor, like that. At that time you can choose your supervisor. Maybe you will get him as your advisor or not sure yet, but at least you can suggest the academic board which one you want to take as your supervisor. This is your right. You have to know about it. In my time, I didn't know it. In my time, I didn't know. But anyway, I got the supervisor who is in my area, who is focusing on my area. Even though I didn't know it. Okay, after that, you can submit it. Then registration starts. Then pay tuition fee. So here you can submit it. You can pay 3 times. 3 times. First, you have to pay a half of the tuition fee. Then the next half or the rest half you can pay it in 2 times here, according to the rule of the institute. Got the student ID, registration into library. This is it's also another process. Otherwise, if you don't have a student ID, not only did, even though you have the student ID, if you didn't register, if you don't register into library, after you got the student ID, you cannot borrow. You cannot borrow any book from the library because you haven't registered yet. It won't take time. As you go register within 5 minutes, maximum 5 minutes here. After this, you can borrow the books which are relevant to your area, or any book you can borrow from the library. So to borrow some books, you have to register to library. Even though you get a student ID, then you have to register to library to borrow the books. Then make the supervisor at least once a month, But even though Here say at least once a month you should meet the supervisor sometime. Even within 6 months, we haven't met the student. We haven't met the supervisor. They say at least once a month, the research student should meet his supervisor, and they should discuss about his progress, his research progress. But here sometimes we could not meet the supervisor because, for example, mostly in our site, I think, sometimes from their side also, they are very busy, so they cannot give much time. Another thing is, if we are writing, sometimes we could not complete it, sometimes we could not write the enough paper to discuss with our supervisor. Therefore, we cannot meet it, even though they said we should meet once a month. Sometime once 3 months, once 6 months. That's also the subject. Most important thing is there should be good relationship with your supervisor and you. Your supervisor is the next most important one after you. First, the most important one is you in your research. Then, second most important one is the supervisor next to you. So, if it is possible, you should meet, you should discuss at least once 2 months or 3 months, not once a month, even though they said to meet. Okay? Keep in touch with supervisor by telephone, email, by Facebook, and so on. Because as you know, now, according to the COVID-19 pandemic, we cannot meet with supervisor. Maybe they are also afraid, and also we are also afraid that COVID-19 might migrate to us. So this is another reason, just saying, as I expect to run, I expect the situation. If, for example, your supervisor has to go abroad to attend a seminar, to attend the ceremony. At that time, you also have to discuss about your research. At the time, you can phone or you can email or Viber or Facebook. You can contact to him, and then you can keep in touch with him. In these days, in this situation, whatever situation, this is the most useful and very helpful technique to keep in touch with your supervisor. Email, Facebook, or phone, and so on. Submit the progress report every 6 months. I think it is most of the institute, they usually ask their research student to submit progress report. Not only that, in some university, not here, in other country, in some university, they ask the research student to sign every day. To sign every day. The student has to come to the library or any office. Then the student must sign that he's present and then that he is doing his research on time, like that. But here, you don't have to do that. Here, you have to submit your progress report every 6 months. But sometimes after 8 months, sometimes after 10 months. But according to the rule, every 6 months. It means twice a year. So you have to submit your progress report twice a year. And keep doing research. Otherwise, usually after when most of the students, when they are doing their research as MP level, this is my experience. I'm not blaming the student, even me, including me. Student me, including me, not excluded me, including me. The student, according to my experience, the research student, when they are doing their research as MP level, at the time they are focusing. They are focusing and they are writing, they are doing their research because they have to upgrade the MP student, usually the Myanmar. MP student, they have to upgrade their research from MP level to PhD level. Therefore, they are focusing to upgrade their research into PhD level. At least they must complete it, 50% of their research, according to the requirement. Therefore, to catch the requirement, they are focusing on their research while they are doing their research as MP level. So at the time, during that time, they are focusing on the research. And then after they got upgraded, after they got upgraded, after they got approved to upgrade their research into PhD level. Usually, students sometimes they didn't give focus. They didn't focus on their research after they got upgraded. This is the student nature. This is very important one. After upgrading, they are just doing another thing. Except from their research, they are doing everything. This is my experience, and not only me. There are some research students, including my friends. They are focusing on other things, except from their research after they got upgraded. It takes time. It's very important because we are giving our money and time. Therefore, their research, the lecturer also, when they are given the research methodology, at the time they want us, they wanted that don't waste our time, don't waste our money, and also just focus on our research to finish in time. In time means 3 years. In time means 2 years, but here sometimes we take 4 years like that at least. Okay, therefore here they said keep doing research. Your research after you got approved to upgrade it. After this, keep it to finish your research in time. One hard copy. One hard copy means you should keep the copy of your research. A soft copy of the thesis, A, MS, and PhD in a common disc. It's me. This is about the pilot step. After you are doing your Bible post, people usually they ask before the Bible post. After you have done your final presentation, and then you have to submit it, the soft copy of your thesis. They ask to write it on the compact disc, CD-ROM, and then you have to submit it with the 1 month of your final presentation here. They resubmit the 3 hard copy. 3 hard copy, because 1 hard copy means after you have done your final presentation, you have to submit 1 hard copy to research unit. Then they were, after they accepted, they were checking your research. They have submit your research for maybe 2 weeks or sometimes 3 weeks, or sometimes 1 week. After 1 week, you can take it back your hard copy of your research. Then they were asked to recorrect or change or some word they will ask you to add some reference like that. Anything they will ask you to correct it. After you are correcting it, you have to reprint it. 3 hard copy of your research. Then you can submit it again. Okay, next slide, please. Item, titles item consist in research proposals within 6 months from the date of approval of the research topic. In your research proposal, these 10 titles must be included in your research proposal. First, propose a research degree and profess research topics. This one is the research title, me, and the introduction about your research. You have to tell write about the background or something like that to introduce your research. And then purpose of your study, why you want to study, why you want to do this research. You have to mention it. 2, 3 reasons. And then literature review. It's me, review. Here, review, literature review. Review me, read it, and then you have to give your your opinion, and you have to give what there is something that needs to do as a research. Here, the important one is try to the one, which means the blaming to the previous lecturer or writer of the book is very important. According to my experience, some students, they use such word when they present their first proposal presentation. At the time, they use some word which mean, which we could think, which seems blaming to the lecturer, the previous lecturer. This is so please avoid such word, using such word. You will get the bad side effects of using such bad words, such words. So when you do your presentation, it's very important. Therefore, review, literature review me. When you are writing your literature review, please avoid the word which seems blaming to the researcher or to the writer of the books which you are doing literature review. Such use the suggest word, or for example, there is some word that we need to add like that. So as if it's possible, don't blame it. We are not blaming, we are just doing research. No, we are not fighting. Research problem. Then you have to in this title, you have to present about the problem. After problem, you have to solve it. So first, we have to find a problem. Find problem. Okay, you have to solve problem. So you have to solve problem. In my research, according to my research title, my problem is, the problem is there any therapeutic approaches? Eliminate problem behavior. Your problem is, question will be your problem. But the problem will be one, must be one. Research question and research problem is different. Based on the research problem, there are questions. So your problem must be one, but sometimes two. Okay, that's enough to do your research problem. Research. Okay, research methodology, research method. About this, the previous students or previous PhD holder, they have already discussed about research methodology and many times, because this is the 26th day of our research course. So they've already discussed about them. So I don't need to discuss in detail. I just remission. Okay. Research limitation. This step also important. Otherwise, if you don't mention limitation of your research, they might think it. According to this step, I had to do twice my upgrade presentation, because when I did my upgrade presentation first time, the lecturer he asked me, what are my limitations of research? After that, I said the whole Tipitaka like that. He said the whole Tipitaka. He re-asked me. I replied yes. Oh, how could you read the whole Tipitaka? He asked me again. After that, I said no. I mean, even though I said the whole Tipitaka, but I will read only the relevant relevant article and relevant chapter only. So you cannot say like that. You must mention you must mention exactly what are your limitations. He said, therefore, this step also very important in your research proposal. Chapter outline or tentative chapter. Just mention usually five chapters. In our, for example, chapter 1 about in my topic, chapter 1 is a introduction, or chapter 1 is about Western psychotherapeutic method, Western the problem of behavior according to Western psychotherapy like that. Chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5 like that. So these are the chapter outline. Then possible outcome. Also mean what after your research, after completing your research, what are the results will be, you should mention it, but not exactly possible outcome. Here I mean possible outcome mean it doesn't mean exactly this result where be the outcome of my research. You cannot say exactly because you are just doing it, your research. So you cannot say it, even though you have already planned what will be the outcome of your research, even though you know it, you cannot say it exactly. So therefore, possible outcomes. Once again, bibliography. This is the aim of the research bibliography. So you can mention, for example, 20 books or 30 books like that. So these 10 titles in your research proposal, these 10 titles must be included. According to these 10 titles, you must write your research proposal. Okay? By the way, can you hear me? Very
Yeah,
well.
yeah, you. Carry
Okay.
on. Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice lecture.
Okay, then presentations.
That's very nice.
Okay, thank you. The subject is not difficult. The subject is very familiar to many research students. But I'm discussing to the students who are about to submit, who are about to register, who are about to start their research, who are about to start registration as a research student. For the student who are already doing the research, these are the very familiar. So the subject is not too difficult. Therefore, I choose to discuss my discussion in English, not in Burmese. Okay, M3 presentation. For M3 student, if you are doing your research as only M3 level, you have to do 2 presentations. Only M3 level. If you are doing only M3 level, at the time, you have to do 2 presentations. First presentation is on the research proposal. It's me with the 6 months from the registration. Even though within 6 months, sometime after 1 year, some student after, for example, they according to the many situation, after 1 year, we could do our presentation, first proposal presentation. But a rule is a rule. So keeping catch according to the rules to your research. And then for explaining the original contribution and outcome of research is into 24 months after the registration. It's me if you are doing your free research only as free level. So 18 to 20, it's me after 18 months, it's me after 1.5 years, you could complete it. If you are able, you could complete it, you are research as free level. Another one is you can ask more time. So it's mean 2 years. 2 years. Their base limitation is 2 years for MPhil full-time student. About this, I will discuss in the next slides. No, here. And this is for these 2 steps only for the research as MPhil level. But the next step is if requesting and upgrading from the Master of Philosophy MPhil to Doctor of Philosophy PhD level, just for upgrading. So 12 months to 18 months after the registration. It's me here, according to the institute, you could upgrade your MPhil level research into PhD level research. But within 18 months, you can upgrade your research from MPhil to PhD. Anyway, at least before PhD level, you have to do it 2 times presentation. Presentation 2 times. First one, at least one. First one is within 6 months as a proposal presentation. Second time is as a MPhil level, only MPhil level is the final presentation for MPhil. But if you are upgrading, so at least you have to do some kind of presentation to upgrade your research into PhD level within 6 months, 1.5 years, but sometime after 2 years. Even though you have already completed your research, but sometimes the institute could not arrange the presentation for you. For example, sometimes there are not enough students. For example, only you, even though you have already submitted your request letter to do your upgrade presentation, but only you have already submitted, no other student. So at that time, the institute could not arrange a presentation for you because there is only you, only one. So that time they usually don't arrange that presentation for the student. So they usually wait for 3 to 5 students, usually 5. Whenever there's the presentation, there are at least 5 students to do presentation in our institute, I noticed, but sometimes 3 students. Okay, then for PhD level. For PhD level also, you have to do 2 times presentation. PhD level student, only you are doing PhD. Because for some student, if you are relevant to apply PhD level directly, for such a student, you also have to do 2 times presentation 2 times. First one saying within 6 months from registration. The second one is explaining the original contribution of our research. 24 to 36 months. It's mean after 2 months, if you completed your research, if you are able, because there was one student. Most of you already know. Most of you who are doing research here in Sri Lanka, here in our institute, they know the month. He could complete his research, and within 3 months. After 2.5 years, he already completed. He has already completed. Then he did his final presentation. So it's me, after 2 years, if you are able to complete your research, you can do your final presentation as a PhD. This is directly to a PhD program. The first one is M3. Okay. Then upgraded me M3 level to PhD level. Usually here in Myanmar student, they usually start M3 level. Their research start from M3 level. Then they usually upgrade it. But some students from Myanmar, they directly apply as a PhD level student. To apply to a PhD level student, when you did your M3 at the time, you must did the 2 years of every program. Not only that, you must write. You have to write it and research for your M3, your MA degree. For such a student, they can apply directly to PhD level here, PhD program. Otherwise, mostly here, Myanmar students, they usually do MA program for 1 year. Then we apply for M3. We start our research from MP level. Then we try to upgrade our research from MP level to PhD level here. This is the difference. Okay, if you have any question after this, you can ask me. Please note your question about if I'm confusing you. Please note it after my discussion. You can ask me. Okay, then I will answer your question. Next slide, please. Upgrade into PhD level requirements. To upgrade your MPhil level research into PhD level, there are requirements. Those are requirements. Requirement means not the reason. Requirement reason very different. Okay, 12 months regiment from the date of registration. Even though whether this man you can upgrade it. Even though they say 18 months, but after 2 years you can upgrade it. It depends on the recommendation of your supervisor and the academic book. Over 50% of the research. This means you have to complete 50% of your research. This means usually from Myanmar student after they completed 2 chapters, usually they upgrade their research into PhD level. But sometimes you can upgrade your research just before you finish your final chapter. For example, in your research in MPhil level, you have already completed 4 chapters, but you have 1 more chapter to upgrade. You can upgrade it. After this, you could complete it. Your research as a PhD level. Such this also they could accept it. This also could happen. Recommendation of the supervisor and the head of the department concerned. These are the requirements. As I mentioned, your supervisor is next or second most important person after you in your research. He is the second most important person. Second important person in your research. So his recommendation, you must have his recommendation. There were some students from Myanmar. They studied their research as MPhil level and then they tried to upgrade it, but their supervisor didn't accept it. Their supervisor didn't give a recommendation. So those students had to complete their research as MPhil. Maybe they completed or not, I'm not sure, but at least their supervisor didn't give a recommendation. So this one is very important before you. When you are discussing about the lecture, about your research at the time, you must say, I will do my research as a PhD level. I want to do. So you must clearly mention it. Otherwise, they usually think, oh, you want to do your research as MPhil level. Because here, the local student, usually they do MPhil level research separately. Then they do another research as a PhD level. So they will think, if you didn't mention, if you didn't say clearly that you want to do your research as a PhD, if you don't say it, while you are discussing with a lecturer, after that they will think you want to do research as an MPhil level. Okay, recommendation supervisor and head of department concerned. Presentation, justifying the request for upgrading. You have to do, it's called upgrade presentation here. We call it upgrade presentation. You, for the upgrading, justify request for upgrading, explaining the intended additional here or your contribution, or sometimes usually we mostly the reason is there is some one more reason. If you could give strong and solid reason, they will accept it. So usually the student, they said I already completed 50% of my research, and then my research is more deeper than I expected like that. So such a reason, they're here, very often they're here. When the student do their upgrade presentation, usually such a reason. Usually they hear such a reason. So they, now I notice, they don't want to accept such a reason as upgrading. So you have to find out the other solid reason to upgrade your research into PhD level. Usually we give us, we say the student, my research is more deeper than I expected, and also I want to add one more chapter to my research like that. So such a reason doesn't want to accept anymore. When we are given such a reason, they were smiling. I noticed. But sometimes, even though they know, they accept it. For some lecturer, some researcher, they have understanding for student level. They said we are just student. So students are student. Student understanding is a student level, not a lecturer level. It's a different. Therefore, even though they know the reason, they gave the permission, they gave the approval to upgrade your research. But anyway, you must have solid and enough reason to upgrade your research into PhD level. Reason to upgrade your research: reasoning, argument, adding more chapter. Usually these three, argument is enough. Reason and argument, these two are enough. Adding more chapter is now, it seems weaker. It seems a little weak. Okay, next slide, please. Preparation of the thesis of research. These are the requirements into your thesis. Why you want to print out your research at the time, the thickness of the paper size A4, not a letter size. There are many paper sizes, as you know. So when you print out your research, the paper size must be A4 size. The thickness of the paper must be GSM 80, not a 70. Usually there are some paper are usually 70, GSM 70. This is thickness, measurement of the thickness of the paper. One side only, you must print out only one side, not double side. Not two sides, both sides, only one side. Oh, GSM means stand for grams per square meter. Here I added gram per square meter. So GSM, but usually sometimes when we are about to bind the paper to print out our research at the time, for example, we are in a stationery store, stationery at the time, we usually find out, we usually ask the shopkeeper whether he or she has the paper A4 size like that. They reply yes, so we just took it. But we have to check it, the GSM, 80 GSM, not 70 GSM. If you print out your paper on 70 GSM, maybe they will not accept it, but not sure, but it's a requirement. This is the requirement. A4 size, GSM 80. Font type, Chinese Roman. Chinese Roman here, because it's the body study. Chinese Roman. Font size, chapter heading, 14 side must be in bold letter. Chapter heading. Subheading, 12 side, bold letter, subheading. This is 12 side. Your body, 12 side, and then long citation, 11 side. Citation, then you have to edit. About these already discussed it. The previous page holder and the student, they already discussed about these. Okay, footnote 10, footnote side 10 must be double space between two notes, two footnote. You must double space, not only one space. Double space. Line space is 1.5 for the main thesis 1.5, but I noticed that some research they are spacing as 2 point. I noticed, but their requirement is according to their requirement, according to their rule, the line spacing is 1.5 for the main thesis. Margins, about the margin, 4 centimeters on the left side 4 centimeters, because when you are bind, when it's bind at the time, they would some space will be lost. So the left side will be 4 centimeters. And then 2.5 on the top, bottom, and the right side 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters. The left side 4 centimeters. Because of some space will be lost when you bind your thesis into book or into as book at the time, some space will be lost. Therefore, a left side will be 4 centimeters. On the top, bottom, and right, 2.5 centimeters. Reference style, any style, you can choose it, but only one style must be chosen. For example, you are doing in chapter 1, other style, chapter 2, ABM like that. Not like that. You can choose, you can use any style, but must be one. Must be the same reference style. But only one reference style in the entire thesis. Page number at the right corner of the top of the page. Right corner of the top of the page. Page number, you can place your page number on the right corner of the top of the page. Number of the words, 50,000 to 75,000 for F11. If you are doing your research as only F11, the word limitation is 50,000 to 75,000. But for PhD level, 65,000 to 100,000 for PhD. But you can how to say it? You can use more if you have to write it down. If you have more information, if you have more to write and to add in, you can be over the limitation. The footnote and endnote are not counted. Only the body. Footnote and endnote are not counted into the word limitations. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Ideas consist in the thesis. This now is a thesis. And your thesis, the title page. The title page about the agenda page I will present. Next slide. Outside title 22 inside and the board. In name, registration number. And then 18, the name of the institute and detail of the thesis. So there are two different sides in the one title page. Title number 22 side, bold. And registration 16 side, bold. And then the name of the institute 18. The declaration of the candidates certifying that the thesis is his or her own individual work. This is a declaration. Declaration page. In the thesis after the title page, declaration page. Supervisor some research for some research student. There are two supervisors, sometimes three supervisors like that. Usually two supervisors for the research. For some student, only one. They have a supervisor or supervisors. Acknowledgement, if necessary. Acknowledgement, if you don't want it, you can skip it. You don't need to edit. If necessary. It's me. I think you should edit acknowledgement because you should mention in your research they who help who have in your research. There are many who have in your research in many ways. So acknowledgement is necessary, I think. Abstract 300 words. Abstract mean about your research, the whole research. You have to mention 300 words. You have to mention 1 pages about the whole about the research, and 300 words. The content page, after this content page, like a chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and a subtitle like that. This is the content page. Then abbreviation. For example, sometimes you have to use many words which is a little bit long, and then, for example, for name, at the time for this, you can use abbreviation. So such abbreviation, you have to mention abbreviation page. Otherwise, the reader, they will not, for example, they have to find out, oh, which one? For example, the GSM, I'm just mentioned GSM. GSM stands for many words, many meanings. For example, GSM mean, GSM global, how to say? GSM in Myanmar, GSM. Okay. The main thesis, then the body of the thesis, the main thesis, and is the bibliography. In your research, these are must be included in your research when you print out. Okay? Primary, secondary, like the alphabetically, you have to edit, you have to write down the bibliography according to alphabetical order systematically. Okay? Next slide, please. These are the maths. These are the steps and maths for the student. The first one is dry entry, only entry. First row, only entry, admission for entry. Okay, research topic, proposal, first presentation, second presentation, contribution. Then first submission of the thesis, 1 copy. Then second submission of the thesis, 3 copies. Writing examination based on the thesis. Then Bible post. Every student also, they have to sit for Bible post. Then final submission of the thesis. The first row is dry entry, only entry. Then so the middle row, the second row is a PhD through entry. So first you have to apply research topic, then write it down, you have to propose it, this first presentation, this second presentation, he upgraded, otherwise it would be final 1. Then third presentation, contribution of final. Then first submission of the thesis, 1 copy, 1 hard copy. You have to submit it to research unit. Then second submission of the thesis, 3 copies. Then Bible post. Then final submission of the thesis again, 3 copies. 3 copies again. This is from MPhil to PhD. Then the next one, the third row is admission for dry PhD. Research topic, proposal writing, first presentation, these 3 steps are the same. Then second presentation, contribution and a final. Then submission, 1 copy to research unit. Then 3 copy, second submission for 3 copies. Then Bible post, then final submission, 3 copies. So the steps for first one is dry MPhil. The second and middle one is MPhil to PhD. The third one is only PhD or dry PhD. These are the steps. These are the steps for the student. Okay, next slide, please. Postgraduate institute about this one is the first title page of the thesis. I just presented it as example. So after this, you will get the slide. So you can check it later on. Okay, next slide, please. I took it. These are the student manual of the institute for this year. So I took it, my presentation, many information, I took it from that student manual. When I was about to register for MBA at the time, I didn't get this book. When I registered for MA, at the time I didn't get this student manual, therefore I didn't know. But now I usually asked the student who are about to register for any program, then I asked them at the time when I meet, then I told them to take the student manual and then to read the student manual book, because in the book they already mentioned all information that students should know. They already mentioned in student manual book So this one is important for students to read out before you start your research or before you start you are doing any program to any university. First, you should read it, the student manual. Every year they updated their student manual. Every year they issue their student manual. So please check it. Now this one is 2020 to 2021. Last year, 2019 at the time, I took it the information from the student manual of 2019 to 2020. Okay, next slide, please. These are some links. Wow, why I give these links is for the Godavari University project. For the project, if you want to do your research into Godavari University, which one is near to Delhi, it's 1 hour drive away from the Delhi. So if you want to do it at the university, you can check it, go to the website, and then you can learn about the process. Okay. Then second one is Australia Nagarjuna University. Their process, you can go to the website, you can read it, the process in the university website. There are many students are doing PhD or some are doing MPhil like that, but usually they are doing PhD in the university in India. There's Swami Vivekananda University. This one is, I think about 4 years or 5 years back, they start open for Buddhist study department. Their university, there are many students doing PhD or MPhil, mostly PhD they're doing. So that university, if you are interested to do your research in the university, you can go that website and you can read about their process, because the process will be different. Okay, because when you are applying to that university, you have to apply directly to the PhD level. For example, if you want to do MPhil, also anyway, you should read it before you register to any university. Okay, University of Beirut, this one is from Kandy and Sri Lanka, and also their process also will be different. So you can go if you are interested. About somebody PPU, this is our institute, PGIPPS. They also mentioned these. So these are some links. If you are interested to do your research in Western University, so they also have the information in their website. So you can go and read it about their process or any program to their university. Okay, next slide, please. Then I'm just joking. This one is just kidding. How many years? One is saying 1 hour on this planet is 7 years on Earth. This may be another planet. 1 year on the planet is equal to 7 years to our universe. This one, then our planet. So this one replying, great, I will do my PhD here. So within 1 year, you could complete it in that planet. After that, you can come back. Then you can submit. This is just joking, PhD joke. Okay, skip it, and then next slide, please. So here, the duration of the research degree program. For full-time MPhil, if you are doing MPhil full-time, 2 years to 4 years, you can complete it 2 years. If you could complete it 2 years, it's okay. If you could not complete it, you can extend it 2 more years. So it's maximum for full-time student, the duration to do MPhil program is maximum 4 years. For part-time student, 3 years to 6 years. So part-time student, they go if they are able to complete their research as a part-time student, 3 years is okay, they could submit it. Otherwise, they could extend it. They could request to extend 3 more years. It's for part-time student, maximum 6 years. For full-time student, MPhil level research is maximum 4 years. For MPhil level student, part-time, full-time is 3 years to 4 years. Part-time is 3 years to 6 years. For PhD level student, full-time, if you are doing your PhD level student, as a full-time student. So your maximum duration, the maximum duration is 3 years to 6 years. You could complete your research with the 3 years. Otherwise, you could request 3 more years. So it's if you are doing your research as a full-time student, the duration is maximum 6 years. Then if you are doing as a part-time student, so you can do your PhD for 4 years. And then if you could not complete it, then you can ask for 4 more years. It's me for 8 years. So for part-time PhD student, the duration is 4 years to 8 years. These are the duration for the year. Therefore, if you are able to complete your research as a PhD within 3 years, it's okay. You could complete it. Okay? Then next slide, please. Oh, that's all. Finish. Okay, so far I already discussed about the research process. If you have any question, you can ask me. If you have any suggestion, you are welcome. My discussion is based on our institute information, our institute's rule. But mostly the basic rules are the same, usually the same. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Very, very thank you. Townsend, thank you. Is it very forcefully, without stopping, you do your lectures tirelessly. So we really appreciate you. Just the process of research, and especially in California University, PGI and PBS. There's a different university, there's a different projects. However, every research student after lecturing or Ven.Sucitta research project and reason for grading, you all may have a lot of different knowledge. Then, if you have a different knowledge, you can plan your higher study, further study, especially in research program and any university around the world. So I feel very happy after listening to Ven.Sucitta's lecture very forcefully and tirelessly. So instead of all research students, I really thank you. I have a question in your content. In your research process, there's a content and there's a 5 issue, no 10 issue. Yeah, I want to ask you outcome of the research. I just a little bit understand, not very fully understand. The one, there's a research outcome. In my time, this issue not included, and I just a little bit understand when you explain about the possible outcome of your research in this program, in this research lecture. So depends on or by means of your thesis, please explain me about the possible outcome of your research.
Yeah, so thank you for your question, Maria. About the possible outcome, this chapter about this title, even though they mention this title usually in proposal, in my proposal also, I didn't mention about this because we could not foresee, we just imagine. But if you are able to imagine about the outcome at the time, you can add it. Otherwise, you can skip it, that chapter. When I wrote in my proposal at the time also, I didn't mention about the possible outcomes, even though I mentioned as a context, as a title. So it depends on the student and supervisor. If you are able to imagine what might be the outcome of your research at the time, you can add it. Otherwise, you can skip it. Just your supervisor. Also, I didn't mention it. I could what might be the outcome of my research because I didn't know what would be the outcome of my research. So I didn't mention. But they said you should edit. You should mean sometime if you could not, sometimes if you don't want, you can skip it. No must. This is no must. This is a should. So this one, I'm in my research proposal also. I didn't write it. I could not mention about the possible outcome. Yeah, this is not the how to say. This is not the not the one that you have to do it. If you mention about the outcome at the time, you can skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
So
other?
most- yeah.
Your question, your answering is very, easy to understand for us. Yeah, depends
yes,
on
excuse
supervisor's
me.
idea.
Excuse me, brother.
Okay.
Yes, I have one question to be more clarification about this fact, possible outcomes.
Yeah.
Yes, could we say this possible outcome is assumption?
Assumption.
Could we say like this,
Yeah.
assumption?
Yeah. You understand? Yeah, you can say that, but this one, even though you are say you want to use the one, but the title should be in that way, should be in this. In your title, you should use this one.
Right.
Usually they use the word outcomes. For
Yeah.
example, limitation, research, how the research area. Sometimes we use the research limitation of research. Sometimes we use the area of the research like that. The
Yes,
meaning
sir.
of yeah. So
My
you
question
can
is-
yeah.
Yes, my question is, I'd like to know how to relate our hypothesis and this possible outcome.
How to relate to one another.
Yeah. How to relate the
Yeah.
possible outcomes and our hypothesis.
Yeah.
In fact, in my opinion, your hypothesis would be sometimes your outcome will be according to your hypothesis, but sometimes it will be different from your hypothesis. Your research outcome will be the difference sometimes. Even though your hypothesis will be, for example, as a mathematician, for example, your outcome will be 3. Your hypothesis will be 3, but after you are doing your research at the time, your outcome will be only 2 or only 1 will be. So it will be different sometimes. Because for some students, they already know what will be the outcome of their research. Therefore, they could mention. Therefore, I don't say, how to say in Myanmar. We say in Myanmar, say Zagago Mujone. Okay, because they are different. They are different. For some students, they already planned for their research. What will be their research? They already mentioned. They know everything. They already did they have done everything that necessary to do for their research. For them, they could say what will be the outcome, what are hypotheses like that. For us, for me, according to myself, I cannot say what will be the outcome. I cannot say it. Therefore, I skip it this title. I could not even say what will be the hypothesis of my research. And when I wrote my proposal, I didn't say what is my hypothesis. I didn't mention. I could not mention what will be the possible outcome of my research also. I could not say it.
You know all the way, but you don't show the way to your supervisor or academic vote.
Yeah, you have to hide it. Yeah. This one also very important. For example, let me situate a little bit. For example, even though you know the reason to upgrade it, while you are doing your research, you must hide it. This is the reason. You must be hiding your reason. Even your supervisor, you should not say it. You should not say, even though you know what are the reason for upgrade your research. Okay, this one also important. Otherwise, why you are about to upgrade, you don't have any reason yet, because they already know what are your research. You already mentioned everything, you know, so you don't have anything to show them. Yeah, this one also. Thank you for your discussion.
Yes, thank you for your explanation. Yes.
To my idea, possible outcome mean new interpretation of our research, new interpretation of our thesis. Possible outcome means, to my ideas, the new idea or new interpretation of our research. Like similar to similar to new idea, hypothesis.
Yes.
hypothesis and their possible outcomes is just very, very quite similar to one another. Especially possible outcome means the new idea or new interpretation of our research title.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as I understand, that's
Yeah.
why yes. Now later student, not in my time. Now not during my time. Now present time, most of the research student, I mean MP student, when they do their research proposal, they have to write possible outcome of their research title.
Yes. When usually in these days, I notice the writer, he usually asks, what is the result of your, what's the new interpretation? What's the conclusion of your research, like that? At the time, some they don't have any answer. They don't have any answer in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So possible outcome or research or contribution. You answer these three questions.
Yeah.
Sometimes students, even though they finish, even though they completed their research, they could not say, even though they are result, outcome of their research, they could not say it in their presentation.
Another question. Some students ask me from different university, from Myanmar or any other country, they complete the MA 2 years, with their own thesis. They want to join Kelaniya University for PhD program directly. How they have to do? How they have to prepare? To join the university before
From
they.
from here.
Yeah.
They are here or they are in Myanmar?
Yeah, from Myanmar. Some students from Myanmar. They asked me this question.
Yeah.
So
that's the email of the institute. Usually, the email. There's the email. The email also mentioned in their website, and then you can contact through their email to register, and then you want to do the research with the title in the institute. You don't have to mention your proposal. You just mention that you want to do your you want to do the research in institute. You have already completed this level, and that way you can ask them to get the the sponsor letter or calling letter.
Yeah.
Issue it. Then you can come to Sri Lanka. You could apply. This is for the student in Myanmar. Students who are already in Sri Lanka, they can go to the institutes. And then they could meet any lecturer or any researcher. They could discuss with them about their area, about their idea. And they could choose the title. And sometimes usually the lecturer, they ask you to write the title yourself. They don't usually give the title. Because if they give the title, if the student is not interested in the area, so that will face the much difficulty what he's doing his thesis. Therefore, usually the researcher asks, what are you interested area? Like that. Which book have you read so far, like that? And then they will recommend you some books about your interested area. And then they ask you to read these books and then come back again and discuss. In that way, they discuss with student and the supervisor and the lecturer. Then the student could choose his title. After this, he could comply, he could apply, and then he could mention his candidate or suggested supervisor. He could choose, and maybe usually the student get the supervisor who they choose. Usually, but sometimes they don't get it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Nice answer. Another, if there are any question about his lecturing, when Venerable Sucitta given lecture about this title, some student may misunderstand or not clearly understanding any issue about the research process or reason for grading. So please ask any question or get any negotiation about his lecturing today. If there are any question.
Excuse me, Randy. Excuse me.
This process is very obvious to the many students.
Okay,
So
come. Welcome. You are welcome. please.
Excuse me, Benny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where can I get yellow boat that you guy?
You can get from the institute. You can ask the registration, or you can ask the office. I want to get the student manual. You can ask from the institute. This is free.
Can I get any website?
There, here I mentioned our website. There's some link. Here, next slide, Reverend Priest. Yeah, here. This one.
Okay.
This is our website. Then you can find the student manual also.
Okay, thank you, Benny.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other question, please? Yeah, if you want to gain more, about the research process, yeah, you have to discuss within. Don't keep silence. Don't keep silence. There is a question. There is many new idea coming.
Excuse me, Ven.Sucitta.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to ask one question. This is a very crucial thing for research field. How to reference plagiarism for our thesis, and how to approach on our opinions. Yeah, this is my question.
Plagiarism, there's the research added about the plagiarism. Giving the credit, giving reference him, giving reference or giving credit, you can avoid the plagiarism. You must give credit, you must mention, or you must give reference to the researcher who wrote the title that you are going to use in your research. You must give the credit, you must give reference. By referencing, you can avoid the plagiarism. Another thing is, for example, if you are, you have read a paragraph, then you want to rewrite it. So you must rewrite in your own words. For example, paraphrasing. But anyway, you have to keep the reference. By giving reference, you can avoid the plagiarism. About how to get the improvement of your idea, you must discuss with your supervisor about the idea. Then the next step is you and your supervisor must face the question of the vote, of the academic vote. And then when they accept, when they agree to you, accept, you get the improvement. Otherwise, there's no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manny.
And that's how many put on the citation and quotation? How many put on the quotation?
Button.
Quotation. Any other?
There are many reference time, but you can choose. I mentioned there are many reference time, but you must choose one style and you are research only one style. Then according to that style, you have to follow. Or reference style they mention in their style. Each style they have mentioned every necessary method and for the research. So you must choose which one. For the usually in our practical way, even though we are we read or we listen or we study many reference style, but in a way, according to one researcher who is very well known, but I will mention his name because according to his suggestion, he said, you can write it, you write it, you are research, keep writing, and then you must mark it, or who wrote this one. At the time, you don't choose it or which style, which reference style I will use it. Just keep writing and then you mark it from which you are copying, which book you are taking the paragraph. After this, and then when you are completed, you are writing, then you have to recheck it about the reference style. At the time, he suggests us to find out one book, one PhD research book from the institute. Then you find out which style you like it. And then according to his book, do your reference style like it. This is his suggestion.
Oh, okay.
This is his
Thank you.
suggestion.
Thank you, Venerable. I really
Otherwise,
appreciate
we
your
must,
answer.
thank you. Otherwise, we might be confused. While we are doing our reference time, we might be confused. This is his suggestion. This is his suggestion. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Benny, for your question. Yeah.
Okay, another one, please. Good question. Okay, if there are any no more question,
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Bande. Can I
Yes.
ask a question, Bande?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say my sincere thanks to Ven.Sucitta
Thank you.
for his
Mr.
exposition of the topic. And firstly, I want to say that, so one of the slides that you mentioned is three requirements are necessary to upgrade from MPhil level to PhD level. There are reason and argument, and the last one is adding the more chapter.
Yeah.
More chapter, right? Three things. So I think is it easy for the person who is doing research or who has already done for their research, but for them, they may have some student who may face a difficult situation, like how to say, they may have a situation like difficult to find the reason and argument and to add the more chapter, because this is not easy, right? This is the difficult part to upgrade MPhil level to PhD, right? And some of the senior students give the suggestion about this. That is, if, for example, if you have a chapter, a 6 chapter, you have to exclude the one chapter. Even your supervisor should be told about this chapter, one chapter, whatever chapter, because this one is very necessary to upgrade MPhil level to PhD level, right? But this is easy for the one of the student. I mean, for the experience, who has experience fully. And so my question is that for the student who has no fully experience, that they may face this situation, right? That is, I mean, especially for me, So what would be your suggestion for those who have faced this situation? I mean, for those students who have this situation, I mean, too difficult to find out the reason and argument at each chapter.
Therefore, I suggest first then you are about to apply your research at the time, you clearly mentioned your supervisor that you are going to do your research as a PhD, even though you are studying as MPhil. And then another one is you should not say everything. You should not say everything that you know to even your supervisor.
Yes.
Because you must keep it some, for example, some chapter or some reason to upgrade it. In my time, I didn't know. I faced such a problem. For me, it takes time to find a reason to upgrade it, even because I didn't know it. Therefore, at the beginning of my discussion, I said because why I choose this idea is when I was about to do my research, I didn't know the process. So for the student who don't have any reason before you apply for research, first you have to discuss your supervisor and then say clearly that you want to do your research as PhD level, even though you are starting from MPhil level. And then for the student who don't have, even though he wants to upgrade his MPhil level to PhD level, but he don't have any reason, any argument, any chapter. At the time, please discuss with his supervisor.
Mhm.
Supervisor.
Yes. Ah.
Okay. And
Okay,
then
okay.
you must think about it. At least you will find it. For me, I didn't have any reason yet, but finally I got
Yeah.
one reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one more chapter is me. Usually, one more chapter. This reason is the I said, and when I discussed it, this reason seems weaker because when students say, in my research, I want to add one more chapter. Therefore, my research should be upgraded into PhD level. At the time, this mine. Because this reason, they usually hear this reason. But finally, if you don't have any questions, if you don't have any reasons to upgrade it, if you cannot find any reason, if you cannot find any other, this one, you can take it. This one as the reason to upgrade it. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
You must discuss with the supervisor. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Therefore, according to the strong, first one is the reason. This one is strong. Why?
Yes.
Your research should be upgraded. Another one is argument. About the argument, for example, your area, for example, one scholar said this and this, but according to my research experience, it seems not correct like that. You can choose this in this way to upgrade your research into which level. The final one, the last one is adding more chapter. This one is the last one and seems weaker. Weak. Okay.
Yes, Randy. So you mean that even though we have no reason or we have difficult to find out the reason to upgrade from entry level to PhD level, but we really want to upgrade our research to the entry level. So so you mean we need to take time, no need to give up. No need to reject our research. No need to change another topic and give it at the current research. So you mean we need to take your time and to discuss with the supervisor like this? Okay, Bandi.
Another one is the last one is adding chapter. You have to find out more information. You have to read it more to find out more information. Because you already mentioned your research. No more. So you have to find out. To add one more chapter, you have to find out, you have to read it more. Then you will get it the reason.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's a very clear answer, Bandi.
Before studying. You have to plan. First plan it. Read it, think, read, plan. Plan means you should not say everything.
This is most important. This is more important for the student, right?
Even though you know the reason, you should not say it. Even though you know the reason, you should not say. Here, some of my friends, some of my friends now ask me at the time such as name. You should not say everything you know. You should not say every information that you have already collected. Don't mention everything.
Firstly, I think if we have any reason to do like this, we should discuss openly with the supervisor. Without exception, without any exception. I believe like that. But after listening to your suggestion, I understood. Thank you so much, Bandi. Thank you so much.
You can discuss openly with your supervisor, but you must give it the reason.
Okay, Bandi, it's more important. It's very necessary to the student. Okay, Bandi, thank you so much.
Please, I also like to discuss with your discussion and share my experience about this.
Yes. Welcome, Bandi.
Proving the statement of the Ven.Sucitta. Adding more chapter is a wicked point.
Seems.
And this because according to my experience, only one argument is enough. I understand the feeling of Ven.Sucitta Sara. The question of that is a common way. Or most of our senior brothers, most of the senior PhD students suggest the new or the junior students to omit one chapter. If I
Yes,
have
exactly.
to write 6 chapters, but omit 1 chapter and mention only 5 chapters for the updated reason, that is only, yes, that is only better way, but it is not problem when we show the whole chapter, 6 chapter, it is not problem.
Yeah, not a problem, yes.
Yeah, no problem, because yeah, among this chapter we have only one argument, yeah, to solve the problem. It is enough, because in my upgraded presentation, yes, I'm point out the gap. Before that, I'm point out the gaps finding in the between finding in the first chapter, the second chapter, sorry, not first chapter is introduction. The first finding in the second chapter and another fourth chapter, finding the new finding in the fourth chapters are very constant, directly constant. So I show this gap and I give the reason. That is my reason to add new more chapter. I give the reason like this for the already reason. But the professor, one of our professor suggests me no need to put more chapter. No need to add more chapter. You should solve your problems within the second chapter. That is enough. And there is acceptable argument or acceptable reason to into the PhD upgrade.
Let me explain you about the. For example, if you find out one reason, that is enough.
Yes.
If you find it one argument, that's also enough. If you find argument or reason to upgrade it, the final one is one more chapter. That's also enough. I don't mean you have to do all these 3 things. No, I don't mean like that. If you find out one reason, that's enough.
Right.
That's enough.
Of course.
I give a reason to upgrade. To upgrade, this is also enough to upgrade your research. Or buying argument to upgrade your research. This one also enough. The last one is I added more chapter. This one also enough. I don't mean you have to do all these 3 things. No, I don't mean like this. Sorry for my. Sorry.
Yeah.
You don't have
So
to
you
do all these 3 things. One is enough.
So you mean the new reason would become the one more chapter. That will
this one also possible.
To the amphi level, right?
Right.
Because you want to add more chapter. Why you want to add more chapter? There's the reason to add more chapter. For example, if I don't add one more chapter into my research could not be completed like that. Therefore, this one. Therefore, I have to add it. I have to add it in this way. For example, if you are doing your research about Tila like that. At the time, so far, I have already discussed about the Sila in only theoretical way. But in practical way, I also want to discuss about the Sila. Therefore, in 5th chapter, 6th chapter, I will explain about the practicality of the Sila like that. Therefore, my research should be upgraded in that way. You can give a reason to upgrade your research. This one also one reason. You don't have to do these 3 things. I'm just giving you first one by giving reasoning. Otherwise, by giving argument about the previous research. For example, in this book, the researcher says Sila is in that way. This is the no, I don't think. This one I could not accept it like that. This one is not correct. You can say in your chapter, you can say in your reasoning to upgrade it. Let's add more chapter like that. For example, giving more information. For example, about the Sila, I'm just taking the person from the Sultana like that. I'm just taking from the you can infer that about the Sila are some also, they also some like that. You don't have to do all this. One thing is enough. Okay?
Okay, Pandit. Thank you so much for the explanation.
The most important one is whatever we use one of these three reasons, the
Yeah.
most important one is our reason should be logical reason.
Yes, of course. Therefore, I say strong,
Yes.
solid. Yeah. Logic.
And
logically.
acceptable, right? And acceptable, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Have the agreement.
Okay, Bande, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for your question.
Explanation
Okay,
of
yeah.
both of
Sorry
you.
for my confusion. Yeah.
Yeah, Bande, it's okay.
Let
Is
me,
there,
let,
yeah, Bande.
let me, okay, carry on, Pani, please tell him.
Yeah. Bande, is there any no more question? May I ask a second question?
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, Bande, because I'm quite confused about, I think slide number 5, I think.
Slide
Number 5. Slide.
Above the
Next
present.
one. Next one.
Yeah, this one. And
Yeah.
yes, this one. PhD and the second line, explanation
Yeah.
of the origin and contribution and outcomes of the research. So that, what do you mean by this line? I understand this one is a duration of the research, doing research.
No.
What is it?
Lux, in a bracket, the duration of the duration. Yeah, in a bracket. Check it, please.
Yeah.
In a bracket, yeah. After 2 years, you can do your final presentation for your PhD. After 2 years.
Yeah. I think explanation, according to this line, my understanding is that it means the presentation. I mean, it's a presentation. Is it right or wrong? Is it presentation or duration of the research or presentation?
I didn't get your questions.
Okay, Bande. I
You have to
mean,
do presentation 2 times. You
presentation 2
2
times.
times of presentation. Yeah.
Yeah.
First
So
one
this,
for the 6 months. Yes,
Yeah,
second
yeah.
one after 2 years or 3 years.
3
You can
years.
do your next presentation. At
yeah.
least 2 presentations. 2 presentations you have to do it.
Yeah.
When you are the second presentation, after that, you have to explain the contribution of your research. In your presentation, I have done my completed life, my research. In this way, they all kind of my research. But in the do this. In fact, but they will ask you, what are the outcome of your research? Usually they ask this question. Then you, the outcome of my research is these. That the contribution of my research are these. You can say it. After 2 years. For example, some students, maybe they are very quick, very intelligent, very energetic. For example, they could complete their research within 1.5 years. They could not do their presentation. Even though you could finish your research, PhD level research within 1 year, you are not allowed to do your second presentation.
Yes.
To me, after 2 years. Yeah. In the bracket, it's mean the duration.
Yeah. I want that meaning. It's the duration of final presentation or like this. That's why that make quite confuse me. Yeah. Okay, Bande, thank you so much.
Thank
My
you.
misunderstanding. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry for my confusion to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Venerable Sucitta, for your next lecturing anytime, I want to suggest you reason for agreeing. There's a 3 issues. Reason, argument, adding more 1 chapter. Under these words, you have to write bracket. There is a or bracket. There's a or the bracket. There's a, under those words. Each of those words you have to write bracket, and there is a word or. Next lecturing, the student no misunderstanding, no need to misunderstanding. To ask to you.
Yes. Thank you for your suggestion. I will correct it for my next. If I have a chance.
Yeah.
Thank you for your suggestion. I will do it because now I confused 2 times.
After you are listening, you are lecturing, many experience and many knowledge, and there any mention or any correction, how to do more and more, better contribution.
Thank you for your question, Pandey. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other question, please? There's over 42 students in this Zoom
left.
session.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ven.Sucitta is now getting very tired because very forcefully, tirelessly, just explaining and giving the lecture and answering the question. So you feel very tired.
Oh, for me, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
still
okay?
fresh. Yeah, I'm a very
fresh,
convenient.
but
Great. I think you seem very tired. For me, I'm a very talkative person. Therefore, for me, if I have a chance to talk, I could keep talking. 3 hours, 4 hours, no problem.
Okay.
As a listener, I could keep.
Yeah, we are okay. I just for to think about you, just to think about you, because over 2 hours from the over past to 7, now over past to 9. So many long period. You are lecturing Monday.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for learning Ven.Sucitta. I'm still thinking to join the MPhil's program. I'm not ready to join yet. So
yeah, take time. Don't be hurry. Thank you.
Now, so I'm thinking. First of all, before the submit the topics, what should I do, and then whom should I meet and who should I discuss? Because I have already known a supervisor is a hot importance for a researcher. So yeah, I would like to ask you, can I choose the supervisor as I like? And because
here in application form, that is the one section that a suggested supervisor, you can write it down. The suggested supervisor, about 3 or 4 lines, you can write it down in our application or our institutes. I don't know about the application in other institutes, but here I know. But I heard through from my friends in India, in some university also, when you are about to apply PhD at the time, you have to meet the supervisor. It's a mean seeking the seat. Seeking the seat, and they say seeking the seat. Because usually in their university, they set about 5 students for this year, 4 students, like the other time, you have to find out your seat. It's a mean, you have to find out your supervisor who accept you as as their student. So you have to find out this. In our institute, application form, there is one section there, and that section means you suggest supervisor. Before you apply, you fill your application, you could discuss with anyone that you like to discuss. And usually, for example, they are very well now according to their fee, according to their focus area. So you can discuss with them. Here, I mean, for other universities also, they are also famous a little bit according to their focus area. So you could meet them, you could make an appointment with them. Usually the scholar, they are welcome. They welcome to the student. So make an appointment, and then find out your interest area, read it, some article, if possible, write it down, your own proposal, before you meet before you meet and discuss with a lecturer or researcher. At the time, you have already read some books, you have already had your area, you have already had your problem, your questions. Then you could meet and discuss. At the time, you have a lot to discuss with them. Then if they could discuss it, they will accept you as their student. Yes. After this, you could fill it, the application form.
Oh, okay, thank you. So we can choose the supervisors as we like. You mean?
Yeah, here usually, yeah.
Okay.
There's a session also. Usually the student get their suggested supervisor, but not all. Some students they could not get the supervisor because, for example, here in our university, in our institute, my supervisor, Dr. Wilson Priya does now. He's very well known for psychotherapy. But you like him. You like him as your supervisor. You want to have him as your supervisor. But when you meet, for example, but your interest area is about the history in Myanmar. You cannot get him as your supervisor because the area is different. So you cannot get him as your supervisor, even though you like him, because your area is not his area, not his focus area. So he cannot suggest you, he cannot guide you very well. So even though you suggest him as your supervisor, you want to have him as supervisor, that writer, the vote, they didn't give you him, because this area is very different from his focus one. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Venerable.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Very nice suggestion, very nice answer.
Thank you, Benny.
Any junior student, they like a Venerable Chanawara. Do you have any more question about the research process? How to join any supervisor, researcher, any university? Yeah, you can ask Venerable Sucitta. He is ready. Now he dare say he is not the time yet. He's ready to answer any question. So any student, don't hesitate. There's no more hesitation. Please ask any question. That's a rare chances. Now belong to all of you.
Excuse me, Bunny.
Yes.
Okay.
How much money can we get to the university if it's not the MP level or PhD level?
Oh, what do you mean? How much money?
How much money can we pay?
How much the tuition fee? You mean how much the tuition fee?
Yeah, for the fee. Oh.
Yeah, for MP level, you have to submit, you have to pay the institute $950 for MP level. You have to pay $950 for 1 year and per year. But you have to pay for 2 years. It's me.
Okay.
For 2 years, you have to for 2 years me almost $1,900 $1,900 for 2 years.
It is for MP.
Yeah, it's for MP. After 2 years, you don't, even though you haven't completed your MP, you don't need to pay anymore. After you pay for 2 years, they won't charge you. But for library fee, you have to pay for library. They will charge in their local currency here. And then for PhD level, you have to pay $1,150 per year. You have to pay for 3 years for PhD level.
Oh,
Yeah.
you.
You don't need to pay anymore, but you have to pay for library fee every year. That's not much, around 2,500 local currency here.
Okay.
This means for PhD, you have to pay altogether for 3 years, you have to pay 3,600 or 3,450, I think. Yeah. For 3 years.
Okay.
For
Thank you, Benny.
yeah, 1,900 for 2 years. After 2 years, you don't need to pay. You have to pay for library fee.
Thank you, Benny.
You're welcome.
Okay, today, lecturer, Sayaro, and all attendant student, research student, now time is over. So we have to.
Please give me a chance.
Okay, what you want to ask?
Please give me a chance to
Okay.
What is it?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Try.
It is not for me, but for some students who are facing problem, especially the new candidates, junior students, because based on this fact, okay, now I show the slide. One of my friends is facing with this problem in Myanmar. Some of the Myanmar's university ask the students for new finding instead of possible outcomes. Our institute use generally positive outcomes. It is it is not strong, but in one of the Myanmar university, one of the university in Myanmar asks the student who write the proposal firstly, new findings. You should find the new facts on your topic. If you have no if you have no new findings, you cannot practice your proposal presentation. One of my friends is facing this problem. So yeah, I would like to request Ven.Sucitta, today lecturer. I want to listen your comment on such universities and some motivation speech on a students who are facing with this problem. Please.
About the possible outcome.
Right. Instead of possible outcome, one of the university in Myanmar.
Yes. Because we haven't completed our research yet at the time. We cannot say exactly, but they should. This problem is not your friend's problem. It's a problem of the university.
So I would like to listen to your comment. I want to listen to your comment on such university.
We must change because possible outcome. We must say then because the student is about to do the research, so he could not say exactly. Only possible outcome is possible. We could not say it. We could not say. I know it.
Exactly. One of my friends. Define this fact.
Yes.
He is aligned with you.
Another thing is, another the method is your friend could say this will be the outcome of my research because according to their question, according to their method, we have to follow it. There's no way. Otherwise, your research will be rejected. We have to follow the rule of the institute. So, if they ask possible or not possible, if they ask outcome or research, at the time you can write it. The outcome result will be this, like that. But when you write it down, you say the outcome of my research will be. Outcome research. No, don't use the present tense. Like imagine test, for example, will be. Don't say these are the outcome of my research. Don't use such present tense. Okay. Then later on, when you finish your research, at the time you can say the outcome of my research are these. Because first thing is to pass the presentation. Even though your friend knows what will be, even though your friend don't know what will be. So in that way, there's no other way. Otherwise, the research will be rejected because the power is in their hand, not ours.
So
even though this should be in their way, but they don't accept it. Sometimes they are very stubborn, very stubborn. Therefore, in our institute, some researcher, they said students are student. Student level is a student level. We cannot judge the student research only from the researcher, only from the lecturer's view. In Myanmar also, there are many, most benefit, they said, when they are requested to issue the question, to make a question for the student, at the time the organizer or the person, the man who in charge, they usually ask them to make very difficult question for the for the students. At the time, those beneficiaries reply, no, we cannot make it. Such most difficult question. We will do our question according to the student level. Because we know, we are the lecturer, we know we have already learned, we know this area very well. if they make very difficult question according to their level, their student couldn't answer. They all were failed. So they don't accept it. One most venerable Taylor from the Masoye monastery, old Masoyan monastery, the most venerable Taylor, Reverend Venerable Koida, who passed away in US. He said when he lectured to the Damascus 11 student at the time, he said this is a man. Not only did he said, now he won't make any question for the student marks. Because whenever he was request to make question, the organizer, the man who in charge, they usually ask them to make very difficult question according to the master level. He said, no, it's not possible. Student level, we make question according to student level, like that. Okay? Okay, to your friends, so according to their level, we have to give it. We have to give the answer. Okay, my outcome will be like this.
Okay, great.
Later on, we will change. Your friend will change.
Yeah. Very nice suggestion to the student who face this problem. So now I hope every student may feel very satisfied with this.
Excuse me, Bande. In the chat, one of the question, one of the student.
What?
Please give the chat.
Oh, in the chat, there's a five.
It's me, Bande. It's me.
Could you give me to raise one more question if possible? Why not? You openly can. Thank you, Bande. I'm quite afraid to do it as the time is over. Now, which question? What is that?
Bande, my question. Bande.
What is it?
You have already asked.
Yeah. Bande, is it possible to answer my question because the time is over? We also have to consult about the time.
Later on, you can email me. I mentioned my email also.
Okay. Now, can I ask or not? It's no problem, Bande. I can.
Yes, you sucks the organizers. For me, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah. That's why you seem not getting tired, right? Because I think you feel happy to talk in English.
Yeah. I told you I'm a very talkative person. I was born on Friday. I'm a Friday born.
Get to the point. Okay, Bande.
Yes, Bande. But my question is not quite related to the topic, but it's implied in a different way.
Yeah.
Okay? So I have one problem that is finding investigation or the research question. Mm-hmm. So I thought I have already got the research question. Then I choose some of the senior to discuss about it. Mm-hmm. So he said, Bande, your question is a common knowledge. It's not research question. So so I feel like, so Bande, according to his suggestion, do I need to reject the current topic or and to choose another one? Because until now I couldn't find the research problem and research question about my topic that the industry field.
Most of the days, if you have a research problem related to the problem, there are usually questions for you. There are some questions. Even those questions are very obvious. Those questions are very obvious, but you have to write it down as a question. Don't listen. If your supervisor accept your question as a question, it's okay. The other school judge your research. You are the only your research. They are just saying in their research, you cannot be the master in their research. If you and your supervisor agree to make it as a research question, it's okay. This is okay. So you don't need to. You can take their suggestion, but you don't have to do all their suggestion. You don't have to follow all their suggestion. Okay. Some of your questions are very obvious, very common, but sometimes we have to make it as your research question. For example, sometimes in our seminar, sometimes in a conference, they are asking very obvious question. We think in that way, therefore we don't have a question because we know It's very obvious. We don't need to ask this question. We think, they don't think in this way. They say, at least we must ask a question in a conference among the people. They think, even though those are very like, institution president, how do you choose your president's title? What? Why? Very obvious. But they ask. They ask. Therefore, you don't have to follow their suggestion.
Yes.
Even though your questions are very obvious, but you can make it. It's your research question. How much they are very obvious to anyone, any level, that you can make it. They will be there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
So you
no,
mean,
no.
okay. So you mean instead of discussion, my research problem with the one of the senior who could not accept, I should meet the supervisor and discuss it, right? With it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I mentioned the next most important person in your research is your supervisor. You are the first one. You are the first. You are the most important. The second is your supervisor, not your senior. Your supervisor.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Some
you-
of the senior students suggest me, before going to discuss about your topic, you should meet the one of the senior monk and receive any suggestion of him.
Yeah.
That's why
We should take it suggestion as much as possible. We can think about those suggestions. We don't have to follow. You don't have to do according to their suggestion. Suggest it's good to discuss with your senior because they have much experience in the research area. But their research areas are very different to your research. For example, for me, my research area is about the psychotherapy like that. My friend's research area is about the Katina, is about social, very different. They will give you their opinion, they will give you their view about your research, but you don't have to follow it because you are the most important. You know your research very well. You know better than them, your research. So think it, and then discuss with your supervisor.
Okay, Bandi.
Yeah.
Okay, Bandi. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay, Bandi. Thank you so much for giving the time, even though the time is over. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you, Bandi, especially.
Thank you for your
Kasinda,
questions.
Okay, Bandi. Thank you.
Today's research session is the very beautiful session. Most of the command, most of the